Every team that wins a title has that game. You know the one. Looking back, it's the moment. It was all won, all lost. For Arsenal, this is it. This is that game. It's not a derby. It's not a top of the table clash. It's a trap. While the Gunners sit top of the league, their next opponent is one of the most confusing teams in football. A team that struggled for wins, yet has turned their home on ground into a fortress. On paper, this is David versus Goliath, but on the tactics board, it's a nightmare. This is the very definition of a trap game. And today, we're breaking down exactly how Bournemouth, bizarre home form and aggressive style could be the iceberg that sinks Arsenal's title challenge. As we head into this match on January 3rd, 2026, the Premier League table tells a simple story. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal are leading the pack, sitting at top of the table with 45 points. They've been in blistering form, picking up 13 points from their last 5 matches, even with a recent draw against Sunderland. They're a team defined by control and tactical elegance, and they're looking to solidify their status as the team to beat. Their opponents, Bournemouth, are down in 15th with 23 points. They found wins hard to come by this season, with 8 draws from their 19 games, showing a stubborn streak but a lack of killer instinct. Looking at the table, this should be a routine day for a team with title ambitions, but football is never that simple. This is where the trap is set. While their overall form has been inconsistent, Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium are a different animal. Their home ground has been a miserable place for visitors all season, with the Cherries proving incredibly difficult to break down. And this isn't a team that just sits back and gets lucky. This is by design. This is the work of their manager, Andoni Iraola. And to understand the danger facing Arsenal, you have to understand his philosophy. Andoni Iraola has built a reputation for an aggressive, high-energy style of play. You never ever get an easy game against these teams. They're hostile, organised, and have a clear identity built around one simple rule: win the ball back as high up the pitch as you possibly can. Without the ball, Bournemouth often sets up in a compact 4-4-2 mid-block. The goal is to make the middle of the pitch an absolute minefield. They stay incredibly close to each other, shutting down passing lanes and forcing their opponents out wide, where the touchline becomes an extra defender. The 2 forwards will work to screen passes into the other team's deepest midfielder, while the midfield 4 shuffles across, staying compact and disciplined. But this isn't a passive system, it's a coiled spring, just waiting for such a trigger. A slow pass, a bad touch, a player turning their back. The second that happens, the swarm is unleashed. It's not one player pressing, but a coordinated hunt. This is why their defensive stats are so impressive. They simply don't let teams breathe. Their success at home comes from executing this system perfectly. On a tight pitch, like the Vitality, that aggressive press becomes even more potent. Space disappears and the intensity is dialed up to 10. And once they win the ball back, phase 2 of Iriola's plan kicks in, with the lightning fast transitions. They don't mess around with slow, pretty build-up. The first ball is always forward, hitting teams on the counter with speed and precision. This suffocating press and vertical attack is what makes them so uniquely dangerous at home. And hey, if you're enjoying this tactical deep dive, do us a quick favour, because we're building a community here of real analysis. Hit that subscribe button. We break down a beautiful game like this every single week, helping you see the sport through as a manager's eyes. Now, Let's talk about Arsenal. Mikel Arteta has built one of the most sophisticated possession-based teams in Europe. His entire philosophy is about control, structure, and creating openings through patient build-up play. Arsenal love building from the back, usually with Declan Rice or an inverting fullback as the pivot, trying to draw the opposition in before playing right through them to find guys like Martin Odegaard in pockets of space. And that's exactly where the tactical clash lies. Iriola's system feels like it was designed in a lab to frustrate a team like Arsenal. Bournemouth's 4-4-2 shape is built to deny central progression. Their forwards will be told to glue themselves to Arsenal's pivot, cutting off the main supply line from the defenders to the midfield. This will force Arsenal's play out to the fullbacks, but that's where the trap springs. The moment the ball goes wide, it's the trigger. The Cherries wingers press their fullbacks and pushes up, and the central midfielder slides over to lock down the half space, pinning Arsenal against the touchline. This is meant to neutralise one of Arsenal's biggest strengths. The battle between Bournemouth's aggressive midfielders and Arsenal's creative hub around Odegaard is going to be ferocious. If Bournemouth can disrupt Arsenal's rhythm and force turnovers in the middle of the park, they are in business. One loose pass from Rice or a heavy touch from Odegaard is all it takes to launch a counter. And leading that counter is their talisman, Antonio Antoine Semenyo. Whether he's going to play or not is another thing, but he's an absolute nightmare in transition, powerful enough to hold off defenders and explosive enough to attack the space behind them. If Bournemouth win the ball, you can bet the first look will be for Semenyo's run, turning Arsenal's organised attack into a desperate scramble back to their own goal. So, how do Arsenal get through this? Winning here won't just be about playing their game. It'll be about adapting to the puzzles Iriola's system throws at them. First, the ball has to move faster than the players. Quick one-touch passing is non-negotiable. But the real key will be rapid switches of play. Arsenal have to drag Bournemouth's compact block to one side of the pitch before firing a quick pass to the other flank, where a winger like Gabriel Martinelli can find himself one-on-one with an isolated fullback. Second, they need movement in behind. You can't be static against an aggressive press because it leaves space over the top. Arsenal's forwards need to make constant, selfless runs to stretch that Bournemouth defence. Third man runs will be absolutely critical. A pass into a midfielder who lays it off first time for a runner from deep is the classic way to slice open a team that presses are high. Finally, Arsenal have to be perfect. When they lose the ball, they must respect the counter. The second possession is lost. Arteta's famous counter press has to be instant and suffocating. If they can't win it back immediately, they must get back into a defensive shape with discipline to stop Semenyo from having a free run at their back line. For Bournemouth, the plan is simple, but it demands incredible effort. They have to press flawlessly for 90 minutes and be clinical when they get their chances. They need to feed off the energy of their home crowd, make Arsenal feel rushed, and turn a game of tactical chess into a street fight. This match is so much more than first versus 15th. It's a fascinating clash of ideas. Arteta's controlled possession football against the Iriola's high-octane transitional chaos. The result will hang on a few key questions. First, can Arsenal's players handle the heat of the Bournemouth press and avoid the costly mistakes it's designed to create? Second, can the Gunners switch play fast enough to get their wingers isolated and exploit the space that Bournemouth's compact shape leaves open? And finally, who wins the battle of transitions? Can Arsenal's counters press smother Bournemouth at source, or will the Cherries, led by the explosive Antoine Semenyo, find a space to land a knockout blow on the league leaders? This is the ultimate trap game. It's a test of nerve, discipline, and Arsenal's true championship credentials. A win would be a massive statement, but a slip up could open the door for their rivals and throw a season of so much promise into doubt. What do you think is the key to winning this match? Let us know your predictions and the tactical battles you'll be watching for in the comments below. And if you want more tactical previews like this, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. So finally, before we leave, my predicted lineup. I'm going for Raya. I'm going for Timber, Saliba, Gabriel. Then I'll go for Hincapié. I'm going for Zubamendi, Royce, Odegaard. I'm going for Martinelli because I'd like to just rotation. Madueke on the right, again rotation and rest, and Jesus to start. So also give me your predicted lineups in, and remember, we're building this channel, our community. We're not going to be like a lot of the media platforms out there, and we're not going to false narratives. It's real analysis, real football and Arsenal talk. And if that's what you want, come join us. Get in the comments, subscribe, like, and everything else you wish to do.